Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MTGPL semifinals for the month of September. I am Ivan Luz, and I am here with my good buddy Dr. Leo down below. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and yeah, this is the semifinals for our September league. So all of these players have played through an entire month worth of matches, and I think this month we had over like a couple over 100 and something odd people join. We had 9 pools, and it was a pretty intense playoff at the very end. There was a lot of points to be had, and we had 9 finalists that have now finished up into these top 4 matches that we're going to be watching. So we have the first semifinal match, which is be Black Sky Doc versus Val. And this is a pretty interesting matchup. This is Doomsday versus Rug Delver. Tell me what you think, Ivan.
Oh man, first of all, I think this is absolutely incredible to watch, right? Like you had said you had spoken to Black Sky behind the scenes a bit about Doomsday.
Yeah.
What an incredible pile, you could say, right? And I guess going over to Val's deck, I spoke with him a little bit about his choices in Rug Delver, and we can always get into those things a little later once we see how how it starts to pan out. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the pretty much like if you're looking at a snapshot of like some of the top decks via like MTGO as well as our own meta, like these two are some of the top decks around. Like Rug Delver is one of our most popular tempo decks here. It's just really good because you have the combined power of Delver, Oko, and Tarmogoyf, throwing in some Dreadhorde Arcanist in there because that card is just so good in the deck. So
Absolutely.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. And Black Sky Doc actually recently taking down a tournament about 2 weeks ago with Doomsday actually, and he and I spoke when I wrote that article about it. Shameless plug: if you want to check out that article, you can head over to our website, or you can find it in our Discord as well. Uh,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just head on over to mtgpaperlegacy.com and we have it all in the doctor's office, man. Yeah, Doc, once again, thanks for putting all those articles together.
oh, I love
I
it,
always
dude.
love reading them.
I love
Yeah.
it. It's so much fun being able to talk with people, being able to really get into deep with some of these decks. And my latest one, I just did a super deep dive into Maverick, and it was such a fun time learning about the deck because I'm a Green Sun Zenith player at heart. I love playing with the card. It's so much fun, and to see like one of the OG Green Sun Zenith decks and see
For
where it
sure.
was in the past versus now, it's a ton of fun to write about. I had a blast. But
Absolutely. Yeah, Maverick is an old classic favorite of mine as well, man. I played
oh
like
yeah.
No Bant and Bant Maverick way back in the day, and I always loved that deck. So yeah, man, check out his Doc's article on that there in the doctor's office, man. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, hella fun. But who we got in the chat today? Hey, looks like we got Prez. Good to see you. McDiffin. And how you doing, buddy? Hey, excited to see that we get had some more regulars here into the chat.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but so this matchup, I think, is going to come down to one really important card that we don't really see that often in modern Rug Delver lists, and that is Stifle. Stifle is
Oh yeah.
surprisingly like a really strong card in this matchup. Uh, Good to see you too, Katarakis.
Hey, welcome.
This is the Stifle is actually like huge here because so it used to be that Doomsday would win through these super like complicated piles. Like it was called the thinking man's deck. Like you needed a PhD in order to play this deck. So, this deck used to be like super complicated, but now it's been like sort of simplified. Actually, I won't even say simplified. It's become streamlined.
Streamlined is
And
definitely the word, yeah.
streamlined is the best term for it because of one card, and that's Thassa's Oracle. And
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
this card makes total difference in the deck, and being able to just win off of creating a doomsday pile and just slamming the oracle and just yep, that's it, that's all you call for.
But as you
And
said before, right, this the card Stifle being able to counter an activated or triggered ability that with going back to the idea of these piles, right? Black Sky likes to do these sorts of piles that include Cavern of Souls to make the Thassa's Oracle uncounterable, right? but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean its ability can't be stifled, correct?
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And the fact that this deck is running 3 stifles in the main, which I mean, it still can nab something like a fetch land. It can nab any sort of activated or triggered ability like a Street Wraith, something like
Yes.
that. There's also a couple Baleful Strixes in the deck, but stifling that Thassa's Oracle trigger is just brutal for the deck. And
Oh yeah.
when I was talking with Black Sky about it, this is actually a really tough matchup for him because of the fact that that Stifle. If they run Stifle, it's great. And but what's really cool is we have not seen a lot of Stifle actually in the Rug Delver list.
That's very true. I think the last time I saw Stifle on the Discord, at least on stream, is the last time I played Blue Red Delver myself. So,
Yeah, like we really haven't that much case of it, except for when we played pre-Innistrad, because back then
yeah, 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 yeah. Besides that, that's
Stifle
right.
Stifle was still a legit card.
Well, I'm
So
still stuck in that day apparently, so I get it, man. I'm a huge fan of Stifle, and Val himself said that it's actually one of his favorite cards in the entire format, and basically feels naked without it. So I think it's
under,
incredible.
understandable. I can't. I hate the card so much. It just feels so
Yes,
bad. It
yes, I remember you talking about that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having your veteran explorer trigger
Mm,
stifled when you really needed those lands. It feels
right.
bad. It feels
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about, how horrible it feels to get your fetch land stifled. Man, I can only imagine
Yeah,
with the
I've
yeah, with
lost
the veteran
many
explorers.
games. I've lost many games back when I was on Nick Fit with that. Valrap and Rogue Delver plus the IV cam combo. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is so many of these players they just want to play their cards, and so having a way even through like an IV cam or like a phone cam is great for people. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's honestly this is the local meta for a lot of people. So we just try to cater to as many people as possible. But so this list is all these lists are open deck lists, so everybody knows what they're playing against here. So you're going to see a lot more tighter mulligan decisions than you would in normal matchups. So this is similar to any sort of big tournament finals or anything like that. It's all open deck lists. So
Yes.
each player knows what they're going to be fighting against. So Val, I bet, is mulliganing to oh some sort of interaction. And yep, looks like Black Side Doc also mulligan down. And yeah, looks like we're starting out here though.
Yep, going right into it. Underground Sea into a preordain. And what was that? Was that yeah, bottom bottom, and then they're gonna just pass it up to Val.
Yeah, that was bottom.
Ooh,
Okay,
nice.
and big shout out to our table spotter right now. We got Beyond Sadistic in the as our table spotter. Much respect and much love, buddy. Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, and that Wasteland. Okay, so oh, when I was talking with Black Sky about this, this is a deck that actually can lose to being wastelanded out. So its mana is very particular. Oh yeah, here
Well,
we
speaking
go.
of which, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
also
we
seeing, what Delver likes to do, right? Well, Delver likes to get under you, take out your lands, and just present a threat, hopefully, and just ride that to victory, right?
Yeah, exactly. This does look like one of those things that the Delver's just playing the land denial game between the stifles, the wastelands. Yeah, oof, that's already 2 underground seas down.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, he run Black
Ah,
Sky.
well,
Yeah, 3 underground seas, 1 tropical, 1 bayou, and a snow-covered swamp and 2 snow-covered islands in the list.
yeah, having access to those basics is very helpful, though.
Yeah, but I think right now Black Sky just needs the mana, needs the color fixing because you need the black for any of your hand disruption being duress. You also need the blue for the preordained, the ponders, and everything like that, and also the one of personal tutor in the deck.
Yes, I do like that. That's very, very spicy.
Yeah, Ideas Unbound is another favorite in Doomsday piles. Draw 3 cards, discard 3 cards at the end of the turn.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if I'm Black Sky Doc here, I'm searching for lands. That Ponder is trying to find me either another fetch land or another basic or something.
I mean, it's possible that they could just be going for like a Dark Writ straight into a Doomsday, though, right? You
Yeah,
think
that
they
is,
would get? You think they would just run it out and see what happens? I mean, especially with
uh
Val having 0 mana last turn, I'd be afraid of that.
yeah, I would, but also you have no information on their hand, and as somebody who
Hmm.
has learned from playing a recent combo deck, hand information is so important. Like there's
Certainly,
turns where I'm like, I can go off here, but if they have Force Will, I'm dead. And
right?
so
Absolutely.
now you're committing, oh, you're one of your ritual effects when you're already been wastelanded twice. Yeah, I don't know if I would have just gone for it there, especially since his opponent isn't presenting a clock. There's no Delver, there's no Goyf, there's no Dreadhorde Arcanist, nothing like that. Just some land disruption and no cantripping even.
Right. So yeah, probably good idea just to kind of, build up your mana base, get everything as smooth as possible, sculpt your hand, maybe have your own permission as backup, and then go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. And we see a secret street race cycled here, it looks like. And there's a Caverner Souls.
Well,
So,
Thassa's Oracle is not getting countered, that's for sure.
well, let's see what's on.
It's named Bird actually, so it
Yeah, I
looks
was about
like
to say,
they are wanting to get that Baleful Strix down, which is, notoriously strong against Delver.
yeah, definitely really, really good against the flyer, or being able to trade profitably and also go up a card. Yeah, I don't hate this.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so
Very nice. Dazing that brainstorm is very good as well because as you can see, Val went ahead and put down that fetch land and could have just had
mhm.
whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I really like that play as well. I think that's a really tight play, and importantly, this deck does is still a permission based deck. I mean, we see four
Hmm.
Force of Wills, and 4 days in the deck, so this deck can defend its combo, and that's what's really important about the deck. Is it's an efficient combo, but it can also protect itself. It's not an all-in combo like Storm or Test or something like that, even though it does play the dark rituals and stuff like that.
And see, as we can see here, having access to these discard spells alongside the permission is incredible as well, right? To be able to pick apart the hand or make them have draw out some sort of permission to
Hmm.
just get it out of the way. And it looks like Thoughtseize is resolving here. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh,
probably why we didn't see Blacks. That's a good reason for Black Sky not to run out the combo.
wow.
Talk
Force,
about had
force,
all
days,
these.
days, force and negation. Okay, so I've learned one thing since playing a combo deck. Force negation sucks. That card sucks because it exiles the card. It's no longer a resource that you
Hmm.
can use. Nothing you can convert into anything. So if I'm taking anything, I guess it's you have to take the force negation because yeah, exactly. It's the only one that actually has extra text on top of the fact that it's a force effect.
Yep.
But
We also well, and it's hard
whew,
castable at this point too, right?
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that is a hand. Wow.
Well, and now is if Val can present a threat, then huh?
Yeah,
But
but
then again, he also has to deal with the Strix over there just sitting.
yeah, the Strix just gonna keep on getting in there for damage, one after one after one. And wow, that's wow. And yeah, Val's down to 18. And after that hit, this is wow.
Prez, you bring up a really good point in chat, right? The fact that Doomsday does use the graveyard as well to make piles, getting that force of negation out of there is huge for sure.
Yeah, that's a good call out, Prez. I appreciate that call out. Thanks for reminding me about that. And yeah, this is gonna be a matchup where wow, like Veil of Summer is kind of gonna be needed after post sideboard games, but wow, this is I wonder what's in Doc's hand. I wonder if it's got to be he's got to build to some sort of permission as well because right now he's losing the force of will fight. He's losing the counter fight.
Right, but I guess as long as Val isn't presenting any threats, then but it looks like we do have something here. Hey, what is that?
Peach,
Peach?
Petrie, MTG, thanks for the follow, bud. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of the Twitch, it's the Twitch side of the MTGPL Discord. We do all these sorts of events every single month, and really happy that people enjoy these. And
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks everybody.
yeah. So here's the clock, though. The Hooting Mandrill stops the Baleful Strix clock because
Yep.
Hooting Mandrills is just way faster.
Yeah, it also
And
has trample notably. So I mean, it's probably the best threat in a sense that Val could have against the Strix, right? Because even if the Death Touch goes through, right, it's still getting through for 3 and getting rid of the bird.
yeah, but Charble, you run like 3 fairy and a Lurin in your deck. Like, come on, bud. Like you can fight through some counter spells in that deck. Uh, oh, did you take out 3 fairy? I thought you were running 3 fairy for a little bit there. But yes, like if I'm Black Sky Dog, I gotta look for some hand disruption.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay, you tried it out. Yeah, like I'm searching for hand disruption off of this preordain or some sort of anything because right now none of your payoff spells are going to resolve. And it looks like that was a top one bottom from that scry.
I mean, you can't play scared though, right? I mean, even having some form of redundancy would be really good for Black Sky Dock right now as well.
Yeah,
Just to
definitely.
make Val use his cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree completely. That being said, Val, Black Side Duck does not have a single answer to this Hooting Mandrills outside of the two of Baleful Strix.
Hmm.
There's Yeah, because he has a one of Abrupt Decay in the main board, and I'm guessing that's more for like main deck hate than anything.
Yeah, I also well, yeah, and that abrupt decay ain't doing anything against those hooties.
No, angry monkeys are angry.
Yeah, I also assume Val is just waiting to get like a lightning bolt to deal with this bird, right? So
Yeah,
his just protect the mandrills, keep it around.
yeah, definitely. Val is drawing pretty live here to, let's see, looks like one chain lightning, 4 lightning bolts. Yeah, and I mean even an Oko can technically do it. Runs
Correct.
two of Oko in the deck, just turning it
Yeah.
into it because Oko turns everything into a 3/3. When
Hmm.
when Cavern Souls and Doc's list too doesn't look like he can reset either. Yeah, Prez, that cavern's is no longer on Merfolk, so that's it. But to be fair,
Oh, right.
he did get wastelanded twice. Oh, yep.
Here we
And
are.
we see the hooting. And it looks like it is going to be trading with that. But I mean, to be fair, it's not like it matters anymore because Val has one of the most important cards in his deck on on the field, being Dreadhorde Arcanist. And Dreadhorde
Absolutely.
Arcanist can be a card advantage engine. It can be a clock. It can be so many things. And this card is actually like really busted.
Yes, and so Val only having the 2 in the deck, still being able to find it, is very cool, right? Having all of those cantrips to be able to search through your deck.
Yeah, and
But here comes the that one main deck abrupt decay you were talking about.
Oh, 100% firing it off. I learned something very early on after this card was first released is you kill this card immediately. And
Oh
the one
yeah,
of Abrupt Decay trading for Dreadhorde Arcanist, I would do that every day of the week. And looks like we see what's that? I can't tell because of the glare. Oh, it looks like
it
it
looked like
gets
duress to me.
duress. Wow. Okay. Force
Even
days,
more.
spell snare, spell pierce, force days. That's one, two, three, four free counter spells, and 2 more counter spells. One of them which directly answers your win condition in Thassa's Oracle, and another one which counters everything for 2. Wow,
Wow, wow,
wow!
wow.
Oh my gosh, Val did not come here to play. Yeah, 4 forces in the deck, 2 force negation, 4 days, 1 spell snare, and the one of spell pierce all on the deck. Wow.
Lady Swift Spear in chat says, drew the entire blue half of his deck. That seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah, the Arcanist was bait. Oh man, this is this is wild. Yeah, Charble, I agree. Like honestly, just hard casting the what's it called? Oh, the Street Wraith. Just I mean, it's a 3/4 beater. Yeah, it is a 3/4.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big enough.
Yeah, 10-6. That's mono blue control right there. It's mono blue control with just flaunting the dual lands. Oh my gosh. I don't know how Black Sky goes through this. Trouble, you still think you could play through all this, buddy?
Well, and see now Val also has the hardcast force mana up, which is really important.
Yeah. And Peter, to tell you the truth, I'm assuming Peter MTG. Hey, to tell you the truth, no veil in the main, 3 in the side. So looks like this. Ugh, it's gonna just come down to a counter or spell battle. And is that another Baleful Strix?
Yes, we do have another Strix on the field.
Sweet. Well, luckily he does get that, and it's uncounterable through the vial. So this is the second and last Baleful Strix in the deck.
16 turn clock.
Ooh,
At this rate, that may be enough. Who knows?
I I don't know. Oh, Val has just too many powerful threats that can just overwhelm Baleful Strix. On top of the fact that there's still like bolts in the deck.
Yes.
So, yep,
Oh, and speaking of
and
which,
yep, we're seeing the chain lightning. I'm guessing targeting the Strix.
looks like it's going to face.
Oh, it is going to face. Yeah, Blast Guy's down to 9. So that is triple bolt range or bolt Arcanist bolt.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Ah,
And once again, having a hooting mandrill, that's still another 3 damage that can get through.
yeah, but that being said, I don't know. I think the bolt in the graveyard is just way more important. Okay, we see a Delver, and I wonder if Black Sky's gonna try and fight over this because honestly, hey, like a flip Delver just locks down your Baleful Strix.
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, I made the meme that this is Doomsday is like the biggest brain deck and can win through nearly any a possible scenario. I don't know if it can win through a handful of counterspells plus a flip Delver.
Yes, and as chat keeps pointing out, that Doomsday does cut Black Sky's life total in half. So very
Yeah.
relevant, right?
Well, luckily, McDiffin, there's another way of cycling it in the form of Edge of Autumn, being that you can cycle it by sacrificing a land. So
Correct.
it's not only the Street Wraith being able to go for the win. There is Autumn's Edge of Autumn to really help in that scenario, but still, even then, ugh, this is gonna be one of those piles. I don't know. But that being said, Blackside Dog has like dedicated the last like couple of months to learning this deck. He's gotten involved with the Doomsday server, got involved with like reading every article there is on Doomsday, and so maybe he can figure out a way through this. And oh, that's a
Oh
lightning bolt.
boy.
Oh, that's a bolt.
All right. Well, Delver's live now.
That's like the last thing you want to see flipped. Okay.
Are we seeing a response to a draw?
I don't. Yeah,
No.
it looks like he's gonna draw it. Top decking the bolt. Yeah, Prez, I'm in agreement. You have to block here. You just have to because otherwise you're just dead if if you top deck another bolt.
Ah, yeah.
And we see
I
bolt.
was I was kind of surprised that Val didn't actually bolt the bird and then just have a constant swinger in Delver. But I mean, it's very possible that there could be I don't know, maybe Dreadhorde in hand, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think the bolt should have gone towards the bird, and then the rest of it just spin swinging with the Delver because since Doomsday does cut your life total in half, pressuring Doomsday's life total is like pretty devastating in some matches, and that's the reason why the Delver match is like decently difficult. That being said, if I remember correctly, let me pull up my interview that I had With Black Sky Dog. I think he did beat Rug Delver. No, he beat a Blue Black Shadow. That was the tempo deck that he had a hard time against.
All right. Well, we are seeing a Dark Writ. Let's see what happens.
And
Doomsday.
here's the Doomsday. All right, let's see the Counterspell War. So this is gonna cut Black Sky. Is I think Doomsday. Let's see if it says. Lose your half rounded up. So he is going to cut down to three life. So if Val just has another bolt, he can just let Doomsday resolve, and then with everything on the stack, just kill him.
Yep. Or once again, we could see Black Sky Doc do his thing, go for Thassa's Oracle, and get it stifled.
Oof, that's also like super devastating.
And then just fight over the stifle.
Yeah, Val is looking up Doomsday right now, and he says it resolves. So okay, so Doomsday resolves.
And we are let's get this pile going, huh?
Oh, okay. So let's see if we can figure out this pile. So he gets complete access to everything that's in his deck and everything in his graveyard. So you're crafting a pile that has to include Thassa's Oracle as a one of, because let's be honest here, there's no way you're gonna be able to win without Thassa's Oracle right now.
Sure.
Uh like he's got to have some sort of protection in his hand, otherwise he wouldn't have just fired off the Doomsday. He was prepared for a counterspell fight.
Mm-hmm.
So are we thinking possibly it's got to include some sort of hand disruption, I think, but it can't be Thoughtseize. So I'm thinking it's probably got to include Dark Ritual, Duress, Dark Ritual, Duress, Thassa's Oracle. Maybe there's no more Cavern Souls. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to go with the other two. I am honestly at a loss here. I don't know what else to add into the pile. Probably some sort of card draw, something like maybe Ideas Unbound. Because let's be honest here,
Certainly.
he has to go off right now.
Yes.
Oh man, this is does keeping his hand though. Yeah, I think he might not have to go off this turn, but I think I would rather fight it on my turn than pass the turn to a Delver player at 2 life with a live draw to bolt. Yeah, Bass, I agree, but there's 6 bolts in the deck. Well, 4 more bolts in the deck because he used 1 chain lightning and 1 bolt. Giving him an extra draw to a bolt, I wouldn't want to give it.
I mean, I've won many games off of a top deck lightning bolt, so I get that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I would be going for it right now. I would just put my chips on the table, push them forward, and just say, I'm going. And just hope that you have enough permission built into your pile and built into your deck that you can fight over the possibility of a stifle or plus force, days, let's see, spell pierce, spell stare.
Yeah,
Like,
tons and tons of permission. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and even if he doesn't top deck a bolt, if you were to pass back to Val, he would then be able to untap and have 1 more mana open, so that way Hardcast Force plus also use a 1 mana counterspell is up. Yeah, I mean, Prez, to tell you the truth, I'm terrified of Doomsday. I am so terrified because I'd be shaking right now. I have no idea like how the hell this is gonna happen because I mean it is truly a thinking man's deck. Oh, oh, Black Side's passing.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, I would 100% crack my fetch, at least one of my fetch lands to see. Man, to just thin out the deck a little bit because you just want to increase your draw to a bolt.
Or at least, something like a stifle, right? Just to make yourself feel a little less nervous about this.
Yeah, ugh.
Or even have the brain
Oh,
well,
he's got the bolt.
and there's the bolt. What are we seeing in response? Yeah.
He's got to have it in response. I mean, this is lethal otherwise. Yeah, this is
Okay, so we
so
see Hardcast
hard,
Force.
hardcast force. Got to preserve that life total. He's only got one free force effect left. Free force. Val fetch. Okay. What's our storm count?
2.
Let's see. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Bolt, Force. So storm count 4 right now, actually. Hey, no fluster storms in the main for either player, but
No.
once you start playing storm, you just start doing this stuff automatically for some reason. I don't know why.
Hardcast Force on the Force.
Yep, Hardcast Force Negation. Oof. That means at least another Force plus Pitch, plus also 2 dazes, and also a Spell Pierce, and also uh,
And God knows what else, really,
and
right? I
God,
mean, we've seen a Brainstorm.
there's been so many cards drawn. There's so many counter spells. Val literally kept his hand off the range of like, I'm gonna wasteland you twice and hold up just free counter magic. And honestly, it's gonna give him the win here. Let's see. Force pitching days, and that puts him down to 1.
I guess that's all that really matters, right? Is that one life. No fetching, but
Yeah, I mean your deck's 5 cards deep, so
yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
you're
not like
not fetching anyway, right?
you didn't build the land into that pile. Let's be real here.
Right.
So that being said, there is a famous quote I remember listening to in a podcast somewhere when the Doomsday player was trying to figure out how to play a turn, and the opponent reveals a handful of blue counter spells and was like, "Dude, you're not gonna be able to do this." He's like, "Give me a second. I could figure this out." And yeah, so unfortunately, not in this case. Black Sky Doc couldn't make it through the like 6 or 7 counter spells that was in Val's hand. Like that was ridiculous.
Well,
But
what can we say? Lightning Bolt, too powerful.
the lightning bolt too powerful, must ban.
That's banned.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So let's go check out our sideboard here, and with Black Sky Dog being the play, let's take a look at his first.
Oh, I'm a big fan of this. Let me go ahead and read this out to you here. We have the 2 Carpet of Flowers, 2 Fatal Push, 2 Fluster Storm, 3 Veil of Summer, 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Defense Grid, and 2 Liliana, the Last Hope. All right, so what do you think the good in and outs are on this here?
100% bringing in the 2 Carpet of Flowers. This is a mana denial deck. This is the mana denial matchup, and you're gonna
Hmm.
need all the mana you can get. And honestly, that is the reason why this deck splashes green, is because of the fact that, as you know, it's not splashing green for Oko anywhere in the 75. It's splashing
Hmm.
green for Carpet of Flowers and Veil of Summer. So
Absolutely.
I'm bringing in the 2 Carpet of Flowers and the 3 Veil Summers. I might be willing to bring in a Fatal Push, sure, an Abrupt Decay, maybe as a one of, depending on, or a two of, depending on like how afraid you are of Delver. But that being said, like I know a lot about combo decks and a lot about Legacy and about the meta and stuff like that. I have no idea what Doomsday. I wrote an article about it, and I still have no idea how to start a sideboard with this deck. This is, yeah, McDiffin. I could see Defense Grid even being brought in. I could see, honestly, both Abrupt Decays being brought in. I could see Fatal Pushes being brought in. Like,
Right, but the question is what are we taking out?
I have no idea. That's the thing,
I
is I
mean, I'm
don't know
going
what
to
he's taking
assume
out.
I mean, I might take out the 1 Personal Tutor just because it's card disadvantage, right? And you don't necessarily want that against the Delver deck.
Yeah, I mean,
Slow yourself down. I don't know. I mean, if I think that Veil of Summer will probably do more for you than
yeah.
Personal Tutor.
See, normally what you think of is like, oh, you cut the Force of Wills, in some fair matchup. I just cut all the free sponsors and put the entire sideboard in, Charble. Honestly, the entire sideboard does not look bad for the deck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
Lily
And you
Lasso,
definitely
that's
don't want to be 2 for 1 in yourself over and over and over either, right? I mean,
yeah.
you got a good point.
Yeah, and Lily Last Hope is really important for like the D&T matchup because this deck I don't think it can really beat like D&T between like the ports, the wastelands, and the Thalia. Like
Yeah, brutal.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to go off with Dark Writs and things like that. So,
yeah.
okay, so I guess that seems pretty fair, right? So going into the Rug Delver sideboard, right? We have one Ancient Grudge, two Collector Oof, two Fluster Storm, one Cloth that's got a Destiny, three red Elemental Blasts. What do we got here? That's a one Rough Tumble. We have two Submerge, one Surgical Extraction, one Sylvan Library, and one Winter Orb.
Okay, so I would say I'm not going to say bringing in the surgical extraction because I know everybody's going to say bringing the surgical extraction. This is not a discard based deck, and if you're counterspelling it, you're already winning winning the Doomsday matchup. So I
Right.
wouldn't bring in the I wouldn't bring in the surgical extraction. I would bring in the three red elemental blasts and the two flusterstorm. Collector Oof is kind of a maybe because it does stop like the fastest turns, being
Sure.
that they using Lion's Eye Diamond or a Lotus Petal. But yeah, like
Yeah, let's
I
be real here. This isn't Tess, right? This isn't,
know,
we don't, they're not playing, 8 pieces of artifact or more artifact acceleration, right? Fast mana. So,
yeah,
um,
exactly.
yes, I agree. I do, I like the Fluster Storms, obviously. Just more permission is great. Um, let's see.
I can honestly see cutting the spell snare. Uh, I really think that it's good in the matchup specifically because it does counter the two drop Thassa's Oracle. But like you also have three stifle for that effect as well.
Yeah, I mean, call me crazy, but is it okay? Is it worth it to cut the Oko since you don't have any
Oh,
real
100%.
viable targets?
100% I'm cutting Oko. When I
Yeah.
played with Oko, I as soon as I realized it was an unfair matchup, I cut 3 Oko and put in whatever I needed against the unfair matchup.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that.
Yeah, and okay, it looks like we're good to go. Val's keeping on 6 and Blackside's keeping on 7 and we're seeing probably an island into a preordain, I would bet.
Yeah, I would probably. Oh no, we're going straight for the C. Just getting greedy.
Yeah, just got to go for it, man. Yeah. And
Chili, yeah. Stifle is actually pretty boss against Doomsday, but you know what? I'm a little biased. I think Stifle's pretty boss in general, but
yeah.
don't at
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Actually, do at me. Please come visit me. Come talk to me on the Discord. I'd love to hear from you.
well, speaking of that, actually, signups for our next season are up. So our next league it's October 4th, and we have the signups up already on the Discord. If you hit exclamation point Discord, you can just check it out, and it's in under our registration page. And oh, sorry, starts October 6th, the first Tuesday of the month. Sorry about that. I was so corrected by our amazing stream name tech. So it starts October 6th and it runs for the entire month. You play games on your own time, and when you can get the chance, it's a lot of fun. You don't have to commit to a deck list. You don't have to commit to a tournament structure, nothing like that. You just play games on your own time and earn those points and get it added onto the season leaderboard and maybe even make it onto here into the finals.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And going back to this whole idea of playing at your own pace, right? I was also informed that Val ended up playing all of his matches in like a 28-hour period. So good on you, Val, for being a friggin' grinder.
Yeah. That being said, last time I entered one, I did like 3 of my matches in my league because I was just so busy.
Well, things happen, but
Yeah.
shout outs to Val for just coming out and just playing.
Yeah, dude. Bulgaria. Oh yeah, Val is is in the in Bulgaria, and yeah, that's a rough time switch. And also once again, prizes for our leagues are our brainstorm tokens, and that is custom art are only being printed this one time. Once they're gone, they're gone. And the next one coming out for our invitational finals, which is going to be on October 24th. We are super excited for that one because
Oh yeah.
that one's going to be a dark ritual, and our artist is currently working on it right now, and we're super excited for how
Oh
they look.
yeah.
Yeah, and really relevant for this matchup actually, because Black Sky Doc is going to need a copy of these, and
Yeah.
Val once again with the Wastelands taking out those underground seas, which is by far the most important land in this entire matchup.
Hey, looks like we have another duress. So it looks like, I mean, Black Sky's got some stuff going on, right? I mean, we have the Baleful Strix to stop these threats, and we have a duress going into it. Yeah, Val
Oh,
wants to keep this lightning bolt
yeah, you
around, obviously.
gotta bolt the bird,
Gotta
and
bolt the bird.
let's see if this resolves. Red Elemental Blast, land, Spell Snare, Ponder, and Force.
Not a bad
Oof.
grip here either.
And that's another wasteland. Black Side Dogs needs to really find a Carpet of Flowers because that card it's so important in this matchup. Like honestly, so what would you take here if you're dressing?
Oh boy, that is a hard one, right? I mean, I might even be tempted to take the ponder.
I'm right there with you. I think taking the Ponder is actually the play here, simply because of the fact that there's no threat presented, and you can each one of these counter spells minus the Force will requires mana.
Yep.
So he has no other blue source minus the Wasteland. Bass, I I get it because of the fact that it prevents one of your future threats from being from trading with the Baleful Strix.
It
It's,
looks like Black Sky Doc may have heard us talking through the interwebs because, not to interrupt you, sorry about that, but yes,
no worries.
Ponder was taken.
Yeah, and I think that's the play here because there's no threat. The only other threat is this Wasteland, and yeah, like and even Wastelanding a Bayou isn't even that big of an ordeal for this deck because the Bayou is only for sideboard cards,
Hmm. It looks like
and
it's happening though. We got a response. Edge of Autumn, it looks like to me.
yeah, oof, yeah. So he's sacrificing the land in response to cycle it. No value off off the Wasteland targeting the Bayou.
Yeah, and I mean, Wasteland's not going to be casting your green creatures anyway. At least not yet, right? I mean, having the ability to have the colorless mana to play like a Goyf alongside a tropical island and then holding up the Volk for something else is relevant. But I
Mhm.
think that Val's just really trying to squeeze Black Sky as much as possible.
Yeah, like you gotta cut him on mana where you can, and yeah, like we're
Ooh.
seeing just a fetch land pass here.
Okay,
Oh,
speaking of their green mana, do we have a Hooting? Ah, we have a Delver. Okay.
Delver, there we go. So that means that Black Side Dock is working with perfect information here. He realized that the Tropical Island was drawn this turn, and the
Yep.
or no, the Delver must have been drawn this turn, and the Tropical last turn because he played the Wasteland and wasted. So he is working with good information.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems like Black may be debating whether or not to fetch your maybe a Fear of Stifle, or I don't know.
Oh, does it resolve? Does it resolve? Does the fetch resolve? Okay, fetch does resolve. Yeah, because you have to answer this. You have to answer this Delver before it flips, but at the same time, like it's also terrifying for the stifle. I don't I don't know how I'd play this is here. I would like to see what's in Black Sky's hand because he is working with good information on what on the Reb and such like that. And
Hmm.
importantly here, okay, we see a ponder. Yeah, but Dreadhorde value. That's true. Dreadhorde is just so good. See, Prez, when it comes to the Reb, the payoff spells for Doomsday are going to be black primarily. Hey, so it's Dark Ritual and Doomsday. Both of those cannot be rebbed. And when it comes to the Thassa's Oracle, he does work in Cavernous Souls into the piles to prevent it from being rebbed. So because of that, you can only reb it on the when it has the ETB trigger on the stack, and at that point, who cares because you're already winning. So Reb is useful for Val in the counter war. Yeah, it is extremely useful for Val in the counter war. Or a 1-for-1 counter is great, but I think right now being able to just play around it, because most of Reb's strength comes from not knowing that it's in your opponent's hand. When it's in your opponent's hand, and especially when you're a Doomsday player that can craft how you're gonna win the game, it's not as difficult to play around. I still think taking the Ponder was the correct play there. Hey, Left Coast, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, game one was
Hey,
insane. It was very close. Yeah, Val was able to get there off of some well-timed bolts and some great turn one, turn two wasteland. And what are we stifling here? Is that a
fetch.
oh, is he stifling a fetch? Oh, he stifled
Uh,
the fetch.
oh yeah, classic.
Or yeah, he fetches down to 16 and he stifled the fetch. Oof, feels bad. Yeah, Blast Guy is down to 13, and his life pressure is being definitely life total is definitely being pressured here.
For sure.
All right,
Over
let's.
just doing what it does. What do we see here? Ponder? Yeah, it's another
Yeah,
ponder there. I love how I'm like looking to see if I can get around the glare. So Ivan, that's not gonna work.
it's not exactly how technology works, my friends. And
Unfortunately.
looks like this was a keep
Yeah.
land. Okay, so really important here though. Blast Guy's working with complete information. He knows that the only counterspell in the hand is Force of Will. So because of that, he could go for it right now and be able to play around it. Yeah, and he's looking at his graveyard. He's double checking his notes. Black Sky can go for it. I think Black Sky's gonna go for it.
Yeah, might as well jam, right?
Oh yeah, because he knows that his hand is Force of Will, Spell Snare, and Reb. Two of those counter
Yeah.
spells require mana, while the other one is what's called a pitch, which you can play around.
Yeah, just playing around one Force of Will isn't so bad, but we are seeing passing it up. So this is giving Val an opportunity to draw one more card.
Yeah, I think Black Sky must be missing one piece or something. And yep, we see an abrupt decay here for the Delver at least.
Yeah,
Okay,
get it out of there.
so one unknown card in hand, no threat presented. If I'm Val, I'm just going for it. Not Val. If I'm Black Sky Doc, I'm just going for it. If you have, oh, but he's got two counters up technically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can only have two counters up at once. Yeah, Vale wins here. Oh,
What are
defense
we seeing?
grid.
Defense grid?
That's a defense grid.
All right, so we do see that brought in.
So Val has to interact here because if he does not, a defense grid requires 2 or 3 mana to be played.
Two. So
Three,
we're gonna
three
see.
mana.
Oh, is defense grid three?
Yeah, yeah, it's 3 mana more to play, and yeah,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're seeing a spell snare on the defense grid, and in
Into
response
a
to Veil
Veil
of
of
Summer,
Summer? Oh boy.
yeah, and unless Val drew another pitch, another blue card to pitch, I think this is gonna resolve.
Yeah, and that's just going to make subsequent turns much harder to deal with, right? Having
Yeah,
that three extra
exactly.
mana tax. I mean, at this point, Val can't even play that. Can't even, doesn't even have the 3 mana.
So he
So we
did,
are seeing a force pitch force.
yeah. So he did hit the extra counter spell,
Okay.
and
And in that case, Black Sky's not going to draw the card either, so that's important.
yeah, but really, really important here though. That's he knows the last card in hand. The last card in hand is Reb.
Yeah.
So
And how many cards are in Black Sky's hand at this point?
I think four.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val just passes. There's no threat. There's no nothing. And even if he draws a force, oh, yep,
Uh,
we see Carpet of Flowers.
Coming in now, it's going to get him 2 mana every turn to be able to play around any sort of daze effects, anything like that. Or
Yeah.
I suppose being able to have just free mana. But we are going straight because the second main phase, right? We're going to get the black
Double black.
mana off of the carpet, and we're going to go ahead and just cast Doomsday.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty great. So this allows Black Sky to not only play through, but having the one blue mana open to win, plus also a land drop. So importantly here, he can hit Cavern and then cast Thassa's Oracle. So I think he's got it wrapped up here, unless Val hit uh probably Stifle. I think Stifle is the one card that Black Sky just cannot beat right now, and I think he's gonna factor that into the pile.
Yeah, let's see what happens here, huh?
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. Yeah, Bats. If Val had red plus Stifle here, it'd be tricky to win through. I agree. Yeah, this is really tight plays. All right, let's see what sort of big brain sort of action is gonna go on here with Black Sky Doc. Oh man, and importantly here, Black Sky's down to 6. Like
Absolutely.
that's still
That's
double bolt range.
that is double bolt. Yeah.
Yeah, this is oof. I think Black Sky might have it here.
Yeah, I mean, having all of these cyclers, right, in Edge of Autumn, Street Wraith, things like that.
Yeah, and importantly, Edge of Autumn that he used earlier is now a part. Can be a part of the pile because Doomsday allows you to pick from your graveyard as well. So
Absolutely. So it's very possible, yeah, that could be right back into the pile to draw you into that Thassa's Oracle.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Black Sky knows this deck and knows the piles and knows the possibilities. Hey, I mean, to be fair, I remember looking at Doomsday back in the old days when I was like, when I first started playing, like actually looking into Legacy because I had heard about it. I had heard these whispers of this deck that required such big brain, knowledge of the format and all
Hmm.
sorts of stuff that like it was impossible to play. And I was like, okay, I want to look up to see how impressive this deck is. And I pull
Right.
up a source primer about the deck, and it literally had links to spreadsheets. I'm talking about
Yeah.
spreadsheets on spreadsheets of flow charts, and I just said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
Not for me.
I'll play something else. I'll figure out something else that doesn't require me to get a PhD in a deck. Like this thing is insane. And so being able to play through all sorts of piles, especially when he has knowledge of one out of the two cards in his opponent's hand, and he knows that there's no that even if there is a forcible, he can't play it. I think Black Sky might be able to figure this out.
Oh, yeah. Black Guy certainly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, if I'm making a pile right here now, though, I'm saying it's got to include Thassa's Oracle. That's at least one. A effective draw card might be good. Something like I can actually see like Ideas Unbound being really good.
Yeah, if Black has the land for sure, or Lotus Petal.
I would also definitely make one with because you know that the red elemental blast is in hand. I would definitely include the Cavernous Souls.
You kind of have to, right?
Oh yeah,
Unless he has the backup to be able to counter it.
I think. Well, that's the thing is I think the backup has to be reserved for a just in case stifle.
For sure. Oh yeah, like I said, fighting over the stifle is huge.
Big different. Thanks for let us know about that. Actually, I'll definitely check that out. Also, really interesting video that I watched actually in preparation for writing the article about Blackside Dock is it's Julian on YouTube. Julian Knapp. He's a pretty famous legacy player and content creator and stuff like that. He did some coaching with Doomsday with a pretty prolific Doomsday player. I don't know if it was like one of the creators of the archetype or something like that. I just know the guy plays a lot of Doomsday, and they did a full MTGO coaching session on there. And I think the entire stream's uploaded on YouTube. It's like 5 hours or something like that. And I watched through a good chunk of it because listening to this dude be able to play this deck through all these sorts of hay pieces, like I saw him went through some of the most complicated board states, and it's just such a good deck.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's a deck that requires a lifetime of dedication.
Hmm. Right. People talk a lot about, having knowledge of legacy helps a lot with the naming of cabal therapies and things like that. I mean, this is, you know, potentially beyond that sort of level of insight into the format.
Yeah, McDiffin, thank you for that. Yeah, shout out to Martin Nelson, the Doomsday Master, and his like YouTube channel. Sure, you can just pull up. Okay, yeah. So looks like he made his pile and he just passed, and Val just played a land, drew a card, and played a land and passed. So still working with information for half of the cards in his hand. So let's see. So this is 2 mana off of the Carpet of Flowers to cast Defense Grid.
Yep. And as users in chat had said, yeah, just putting a defense grid out is going to make this so much harder for Val.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a Wasteland trying to figure out what to target. And yeah, it's gonna be the Trop.
Hmm.
I still would have just targeted the Underground Sea just because. But I mean, Carpet of Flowers, who cares?
Yeah, it's going to make whatever you want it to.
Oh, Strix is a part of the pile. So looks like he
Okay.
probably made. How do you play that Strix? He need Strix only. Oh, okay. So Strix, draw, and pass. Yeah, this looks like to be more of a slow pile. He knew what he was working with, and yeah, I think Bass, you called it right. Yeah, defense grid
Hmm.
shuts off Reb. Yeah, Bass, you call it. Just make a pile with defense grid and just call it good. And so now we see last card drawn, activating Carpet of Flowers, makes blue, duress,
Duress. Okay, so duress to blue floating,
and
and that's it.
that's the scoop. Yep, and yeah, okay, we see a game 3. Wow. So that's the power of the Doomsday, though. You don't have to go immediately for a win the turn that Doomsday's presented. He has no clock. He has nothing like that. So might as well just go for the win over a couple of different turns. Yeah,
Correct. And if you can get rid of all of Val's answers, then I mean, what can he do, right? To deal with the Thassa's Oracle that's just coming down the pipe.
yeah. This is it's really impressive to see this deck go through, and honestly, like this is to see this pile of cards and just being able to look at this entire 60 card or list and go, these are the 5 that I want in order to win the game
Hmm.
is wow. Like this is some top tier legacy play. This is the type of legacy play that you don't really get to see as much in like MTGO type stuff, that like thinking, that trying to figure it out. All you get is that timer ticking down, while on here we're getting the players going, oh shit, like I don't know what to do here, like what's happening. And like you really, it comes down to a lot of not only just like being able to read your opponent, but also like, you know, definitely coming down to the skill of the pilot on the deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it may not be face to face necessarily, but I mean, you still get things like nerves and all of that,
Oh
right? I
yeah.
mean, it's still very visceral. You're still touching the cards. You're still talking to your opponent.
Oh yeah. Still to this day, I'll still get like the little bit of like tinglies haze like when I started playing Storm. Like
Hmm.
that feeling of like, okay, you top deck the one thing you need, and it's just like that adrenaline rush. You're just like, oh, I wonder if I could do this. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a blast. Like I love being able to play through webcam.
Oh yeah, for sure, and especially like you'd said with these like complex combos, right? I mean, you start to go through the motions, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, no, wait, I really need to think about this. Oh man, I'm on camera, and and it's just so much going on.
Yeah, and Jarble, yeah, I'm right there with you. Back in the old days when it was just Ivan and Rad and I pretty much on this Discord. Whenever Rad and I would play, he just go turn one mountain like, oh, I'm gonna get blood mooted. This feels bad. Hey, 90s MTG, welcome. Yeah,
Hey, good
we
to
got
see you.
we got the league finals going on here for our September league. We got Doomsday versus Rug Delver, and this is semifinal match number one.
Yep.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh yeah, game three coming up. We got a 1-1 situation going on here, so we have a genuine going.
Oh yeah. Welcome 90s MTG. Oh man. So this is so now we get the important okay, the tempo deck is on the play. So now that the tempo deck is on the play, hey, this completely changes everything. Are we like
Oh yeah.
sideboarding, everything like that. Like wastelands are so much well leveraged in this matchup being on the play, and also a
Hmm.
fast delver can really put pressure on Black Sky. So both of these players really got a mulligan and make a strong decision on their mulligan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also the power of Stifle, right? Stifle becomes infinitely better on the play because all of a sudden you just drop, turn one, you leave it open. Even if you don't have the Stifle, you're thinking, your opponent's thinking to themselves, well, should I even fetch, right? I mean, they do have Stifle in the deck.
Taking them off that turn is important in this deck.
And I think that Black Sky Doc knows that since Stifle is actually so good against the Thassa's Oracle plan, I don't think there's any way Val took it out. And I'm pretty sure Black Sky Doc knows that. So I don't think there's going to be any faking Stifles in this.
Oh no, no, 100%. There, if you have the stifle, I would not play into it. I
Oh,
Yeah, because having one or two of your lands stifled away, it just feels bad. And as we saw in game one, that just double wasteland holding up. Oh yeah, 100%. This is reading stifle. If I see a tropical island pass, I'm just yeah no, I'm not gonna get stifled here. But instead we see underground sea into preordain.
yeah. Well, lucky for Black Sky, they have a legitimate land and they don't have to go search for it.
90s MTG. Hey, you should come hop in with here. Here,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
join
Sneak and
us
Show
for
and Blue Red Delver, come over, come talk to me, man. I will play. I play lots of Sneak and Show and Blue Red Delver if you're interested.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the Leaving the Legacy guys brought on there, Pat and Jerry, because they're supposed to be
That's
on
what.
with
Yeah,
Vegas this week. But yeah, hey, 90s MTG, hit us up. Come be featured on one of our Thursday night or Tuesday nights events or something like that.
yeah, man.
And did Blackside just pass through his turn?
Yeah, it's looking like zero lands
Ooh,
here.
ooh, the Wasteland. The Wasteland was so good.
Yep, people like to talk about how Wasteland isn't as good anymore, but I mean it's still Wasteland. Let's not forget that,
Well,
folks.
to be fair, Blackside did cycle a Edge of Autumn in response to the Wasteland, so
Yeah, at least there was some value to be had, correct?
yeah.
Well,
So,
but we do have a goofy coming out. Good old Tarmogoyf.
oh, Goyf is so good still.
Yeah, notably, Val said that Tarmogoyf, based on their choice of creature split, they chose to go with four Goyfs simply because Goyf is one of their favorite cards in Legacy. So, shout outs. Shout outs to
Understandable.
Val for just loving a card so much that no matter what anybody else says, he's just going to jam it.
Yeah, and yeah, we're seeing Black Sky Dock just force being cast into the Lotus Petal as your mana source. Wow.
Unfortunate.
Oh, this is gonna be a pretty rough go here, especially with the 3/4 Goyf bash in his face and
Yeah, well, I mean, but hey, the upside is, pardon me, the upside is that Lotus Petal can't be wastelanded, right?
that is true. That is very true.
I don't think
Uh,
we're going to see the ancient grudge from the sideboard. So
no, no
I
way.
mean, it's very possible. I mean, right, with all the defense grid shenanigans that went on, maybe so.
Maybe bringing in one after seeing the defense grid, I could see, but like I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
Like it seems too corner case in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, it might be a little, yeah, a little too cute.
Yeah. Yeah. 90s MTG. If you want to run the Walker cards for some reason, for some ungodly reason, WotC decided to run them to make them legal in Eternal formats, and we won't get into that rant here because that's for another time.
Oh, but we will.
Oh,
We will eventually.
get me drunk enough, I'll rant to you about WotC any day of the week. Can we please? I understand it's a global pandemic and stuff like that, but legacy players still matter. We wanted a legacy GP.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but yeah, I think Val here, he's got to be holding up Stifle still. Oh, and being able to just hold on to that Stifle with this fetch land up, I don't. And Blackside I was really relying on this fetch land. I think a Stifle is gonna be something you're gonna have to fight over here.
You're certainly gonna have to fight over it, or else you're just gonna get buried.
Oh yeah, and this is okay. So are we in end step? Is I think is oh no, he's looking at what's in his graveyard. Entirely possible he might have brought in the surgical.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, to be able
Ooh,
to snipe those things, gets them out of the piles, gets them out of the deck. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, nope, just passes back. All right, let's see here. Oh, all right, here's the fetch. Let's see the stifle. There it is. Called it.
Yep, there it is. Doing what Stifle do. Are we going to see a fight, or is it just happening? It looks like it just happened.
Yeah. Uh, you got to fight over this. I think you got to fight over this.
Hey, Person of Secrets, nice to see you. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for the follow, person of secrets. And I think you got to
You
fight
all
over this.
rock. Thanks for coming out. Oh, it looks like we are seeing a brainstorm in response.
Hey,
Hey,
Rax Lupine,
Rex.
or Volpine. Rax, thanks for the follow, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, folks. Always a pleasure. Always love bringing this content to you. Thanks for showing up. You keep showing up, and we'll keep making it.
Oh yeah. And if you want more content, you can find our YouTube page. You can find our website. Hey, hit exclamation point and website and exclamation point YouTube, and you can check it out. Hey, Person of Secrets, thank you for
Hey,
subscription, buddy. Really
hey, you
appreciate
rock.
that.
All are the best.
Storm count
Thank you
one,
so much.
appreciate it. And looks like we're seeing now another fetch using the Misty. Hey, for
Claire
the
Historic. Hey, thanks for coming out. Wow,
yeah,
we
thanks
just
for
got
the follow.
the hype's just flowing. Appreciate you,
Yeah,
folks.
hype has been placed on the stack. Thanks everybody. Yeah, we strive to bring you quality legacy paper legacy contact. Lady Swiftsphere, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow.
Glad
Oh,
y'all are enjoying this,
thank you everybody.
and we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while, everybody. Hey, oh, Chlorostrix, dude, we've had a lot of ninja players in the Discord in our tournaments. I always love the deck, and I honestly think that with the addition of like these new rogues that have like really come into there, I think like these blue black X tempo decks like Death Shadow ninjas, even like rogues and legacy is going to be like super good now. So if you want to come and jam some ninjas with us, come on out, dude. I would love to see it. And if you win it, I'd love to write a piece about ninjas. Ninjas is a
Heck
dope
yeah.
deck, and like having the chance to really learn about it, I love it.
Nice. So it looks like we're also seeing a Hooting
Draw this
Mantrels
light.
coming onto the board now as well, and it didn't look like it affected the Goyf at all. So that's really good play there to be able to remove, specific card types to keep the Goyf big.
Hey,
Hey, Mike,
McNiffin. Mike, hey, thanks for the subscription, buddy. Really appreciate it.
you guys are killer.
Storm count too. Oh, this is great to see. Thank you everybody for the subscriptions. This is great to see, and we really appreciate the support. We have more things coming down the pipe. We have our big
Hmm.
invitational coming up, and we also have our Halloween special theme event that's gonna be coming up
Oh
that
yeah.
we're gonna be announcing next week, and what the theme is and everything like that. We're super excited, and that looks like it's it.
All
And
right.
Black Sky scooping it up. The Stifle and the Wastelands are too much, and honestly, that was the hardest part about this matchup was the mana
Hmm.
denial plan. Since Rogue Delver has the efficiency of creatures as well as the mana denial, this was going to be a hard matchup. But seeing that Doomsday go off was still just perfect.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Rug Delver, man, just too strong.
it's
Congratulations to Val making it into the finals.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see Val in just a little bit here in the finals. But real quick before that, we're going to take a quick break, get the next match set up for you. And yeah, we'll see you all in just a little bit.